Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Midwest Invitational Fiddle Contest, brought to you through the courtesy of KOPN Columbia.
Welcome to the Midwest Invitational Fiddle Contest. We're glad you guys are here. We are live on KOPN, streaming across the world, and we've got a live in-studio audience. Let's hear you guys. Let's hear you guys. Yeah. So this is an interesting day today. We're happy to be with you. We've got 10 of the finest fiddlers here in Missouri, and we're going to have an old-time radio contest with some good fiddling. We're going to do 4 rounds, and you'll get a chance to vote for your favorite fiddlers with one of those fancy-dancy QR codes or at masotfa.com, MSOTFA.com. And so we'll have 4 rounds. The first round will be each fiddler will play a breakdown or a hoedown. That's one of those square dance tunes, so you're likely to get your feet tapping for that. And in the house, we want to hear them feet tapping, all right? And the second one will be a waltz or a spiritual tune. We'll do a tune of choice that's not a waltz or a hoedown for round 3. And then we'll do a tune of the fiddler's choice, whatever the heck the fiddler likes to do. So we'll go ahead and get started here. We're going to start with Liz Amos. And Liz has been in Missouri for 30 years playing traditional music with, apprenticing with Bob Hope. Bob Hope, anybody? She's influenced by the driving dance styles of Bob Hope and Midwest greats like Dwight Lamb, Vesta Johnson, Niall Wilson, John White, and her lively phrase tunes are remarked far and wide for her dance fiddling abilities. And so we're here. What are you going to play, Liz?
We're going to give Lantern in the Ditch a go, or whatever falls out.
All right, give her a go. Round 1, folks. fiddle music. I forgot about our complete intros here, so we just jumped ahead of ourselves. I do want to remind folks, if you're voting online, there's a QR code in the house here that you can scan. I think you can link from kopn.org and certainly msotfa.com. And you got to know who you're voting for, because there's a top 3 and there's a name on there that you got to know your fiddler's name. So keep your score sheets at home and keep them active and listen to every tune. I encourage you to listen before you vote, although you can vote now and vote often. We even got Amanda Arbuckle as our next fiddler, undergraduate student studying biomedical engineering. How about that? And she fiddles. Started playing and learning classical violin. She started coming to old-time Missouri fiddle music after discovering John White's jam in Hallsville, Missouri. She played at the Fiddle Camp as a student junior master, recently completed an apprenticeship with a fiddle master who's also one of the contestants today, Charlie Walden. Amanda loves sharing Missouri's fiddle tradition tunes with new and familiar audiences. What are you going to play for us today?
Angus Campbell.
Oh, Angus Campbell, all right. Amanda's maybe our youngest fiddler up here, I think so. So not to call out age, but we've got a few age groups represented here well across the demographic of Missouri fiddling here. Our next fiddler in this round is going to be Gaddy, a 5th generation Ozarker, grew up in Springfield, Missouri, listening to her dad and grandfathers play fiddle tunes on the harmonica. In 2016, after 20 years as a backup player for great fiddlers like Dwight Lamb, John White, Bob Holt, she took up the fiddle. Thank gosh. Hoping to keep her local square dance thing going, and I think she does a fine job of doing that. Though she was raised in the Ozarks, she primarily represents Missouri's northern fiddle styles. So what are we going to have today?
We are going to have Zion, who's from a great radio fiddler, Casey Jones.
Right.
Yep.
tribute to a great radio fiddler, Casey Jones. Good tune selection. I appreciate that there. Next up, who do we have next up? Is David Scrivner. A native of Mansfield, Missouri, David Scrivner has been playing traditional Ozarks fiddle music for nearly 30 years, including several years as a student and apprentice of renowned Ozarks fiddler Bob Holt. How about it for Bob Holt again? Focused on preserving Ozarks dance music and music tradition, David plays for square dances in the Ozarks and mentors younger musicians in the area. David won the 2019 Arkansas State Old Time Fiddling Grand Championship and represented Ozarks fiddling at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival in Washington, D.C. in 2022 and 2023. How about it? What do you think about playing here? You want to talk about the Sickle a little bit?
I'm going to play Rabbit in the Pea Patch. I learned this from Bob Holt, and it's a Douglas County tune.
All right, off you go. Mr. Geoff Seitz. While he gets his band and fiddle in tune, I don't think he got strings on it when he got here, so he's got to get some strings on that fiddle real quick there. Geoff Seitz from LeMay, Missouri. He's been playing fiddle for over 50 years. Throughout his years of fiddling, Geoff has sought out traditional master fiddlers, learned tunes in the old-time style. He's won numerous awards for his fiddling, including first place at the Old Fiddlers Convention in Galax and first at the Appalachia String Band in Clifftop, West Virginia. He regularly plays traditional tunes, dances, concerts. He's one of the founding members of the Ilmo Boys, a critically acclaimed string band, old-time tunes and songs. Mr. Geoff Seitz, what are we going to do today?
We're going to play Marmaduke's Hornpipe, and the version comes from through R.P. Christensen, and he recorded Bill Driver playing this version here, and my version's inspired by that.
Right. That's Mr. Geoff Seitz, everybody. If you're tabulating at home, he had a big old band there. Give it up for our accompanist, our other musicians here. We'll talk about them a little bit. We've got a last minute Johnny on the spot fill-in. Dr. Howard Marshall couldn't make it in today, so we've got a fill-in fiddler, Mr. Richard Shewmaker. Say that, Richard. Rich, I don't have a bio on you since you're the Johnny Jump Up. Tell us a little something about yourself.
Well, I'm from Columbia. I'm a native of Columbia, and been playing for about 15, 16 years under Howard and John White.
Right.
Hallsville, Missouri.
Good deal. What tune you gonna play?
I'm going to play Hell on the Wabash.
Where'd you learn that?
I got that from Pete McMahon.
All right. Yeah, live fiddling, folks, right here. Can't beat it. That's a testament to what good Missouri fiddlers we got around here in mid-Missouri. Rich had no idea he was coming on today. We said, hey, we need you. And lo and behold, there he shows up with Richie. All right. We got one of my favorite fiddlers, and I'm not biased on voting here, but I got one of my favorite fiddlers coming up here. MC, can take that liberty. We got Miss Kathy Summers coming up here. Come on, sit down while she gets ready. I'll talk about Kathy Summers. She's from Bergen, Missouri, folks. She's been playing fiddle since she was about 14 years old. Is that right? All right, good. Started playing rhythm guitar first. That's a good start at age 7 with her grandfather Joe, also who was a left-handed fiddler, which, by the way, my bias stems from her being a left-handed fiddler. And her father Delbert Bryan played guitar and always encouraged Kathy to play. Let's see, where are we at? You married Howard Summers from Bourbon, who's also a fiddle player, that's right?
And this tune is one that I learned from him.
You learned this from him, all right? Your
50 years ago.
50 years ago you learned this tune. Heck yeah. Your children, your grandchildren are playing fiddle still?
Yes.
It makes you very happy, I'm
Yes,
sure.
it
Well,
does.
we're happy you're here. We're going to play for us.
Bill Cheatum.
Bill Cheatum, all right. facility around one, folks. You can still get down here to the Sickle Music Center on the campus, University of Missouri. Come on down. We still can get you in the door here. We've got two more contestants here in the first round. Lynn Welsh, want to come on up? Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped across. Charlie Walden first. Sorry.
He went to a small country school.
Well, this is what you get when it's live, folks. You never know what's going to happen.
My bed's supposed to be right there.
You're supposed to be right there.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right.
You've never been better.
Thank you, man.
What was that?
What was it? Oh, hell among the Yearlings.
Let's talk a little bit about Charlie in this first round. Hallsville native Charlie Walden is a master Missouri fiddler known for his energetic style, deep knowledge of traditional fiddle tunes, a lifelong advocate for old-time music. He has performed across the U.S. and abroad, sharing the unique sound of Missouri fiddle at festivals, workshops, and contests. Charlie has won major competitions in Missouri, Illinois, West Virginia, Ontario, Canada. His flamboyant bowing style, dazzling left hand, encyclopedic repertoire make him a fierce fiddling competitor. And that's all the truth.
Thank you, Chat GPT.
Now, you said what you're going to play, but I missed it. What is it?
Hell among the Yearlings.
All right.
Could we have an A? That's about right.
And Charlie, now we got Mr. Lynn Wells. Come on down here, Mr. Lynn Wells. I called you up a little too early. Mr. Lynn Wells from Howard County, Missouri. Grew up as one of 9 children in the family. Inspired by the music of local square dance fiddlers like Charlie Jackson, Little Billy Crane, Cleo Persier. Fondly remembers Sunday afternoons spent visiting their homes with his father, listening to the tunes and styles that shaped his own fiddling. A long-running contest favorite and often sought-after judge, Lynn is respected for both his skill and deep connection to Missouri's fiddle tradition. And I believe that's right. What are you going to play for us?
Thomas and Gerald. No, this is informal. Let's play Tom and Gerald.
playing contests for a long time right there. All right, our last fiddler in first round number 1, John P. Williams. Grew up in Northeast Missouri, learned to play fiddle at the long-running Tuckle Youth Fiddle Camp where he now teaches. He studied with legendary Missouri fiddlers, including Pete McMahon, and in 1998, apprenticed with McMahon through Missouri's Traditional Arts Apprenticeship Program. John is a 5-time master artist in that same program and remains dedicated to preserving and passing down Missouri's traditional fiddle music. What are you going to play for us?
Aunt Mary's Hornpipe.
Round number 1. So make sure you're tabulating your scores at home for round number 1. That was the hoedown. We're going to have just a short interlude here and bring up Megan Murph here to do a little talking about the program here. You want to take my mic?
Yeah, just a warm welcome, y'all. Welcome to the School of Music. If this is your first time here, I'm so happy you're here. I hope you come back for all the other amazing things. My name is Megan Murph. I'm the director of the Bud Center for American Music Studies here at NU. What an amazing bunch of musicians we have over here. I just can't get over it. Y'all are great. You'll notice on the program there are so many QR codes, so I just wanted to walk you through it, okay? If you want to read all the bios from these amazing musicians, follow the QR code on the front of your program. And then if you want to check out what all of our other sponsors are up to, the Fiddle Association, the Bud Center, the Missouri Folk Arts Program, the Hearing Place cohort, all of those QR codes are within your program as well. And you might have noticed there's another QR code. Oh my goodness, so many. If you saw this little guy when you came in, we are surveying you, the audience, on what you think this means to listen to Missouri. How do you hear place? How do you hear Missouri? How do you listen to Missouri? So if you'd like to share your thoughts and fill out that survey, that would be great. It's anonymous. We'd love to, just hear what's on your hearts. And a big round for Thomas over here. That's all I got. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. We do want to thank KOPN, all the folks that are helping us get us live on the air, engineering this. And we'll talk about a few more folks we want to thank as we move on. But we're going to get to round number 2. And round number 2 is the waltz, or spiritual. So this is where we're going to hear that smooth bowing, the danceability of a waltz. These are hallmarks of Missouri fiddling. We've got our first waltz contestant, Liz Amos. What do you got?
I will admit that when I chose this waltz, I thought Thomas was going to have to announce the name. This is Dwight's dad's Norwegian waltz from Dwight Lamb.
Now you know why I didn't have to. while Amanda gets set up here, is that we're kind of reproducing a broadcast, was it 1989?
Yes.
The Cope Ashlock Invitational that was broadcast live on KOPN, just like today. We felt it important that the Missouri State Fiddlers Association, this was such a monumental thing that was done that Mr. Charlie Walden and the Missouri Fiddlers put on, that we've been wanting to do this for years since then, and we finally got a chance thanks to KOPN, thanks to the University of Missouri, and thanks to Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers to put this on. So we're glad and grateful you guys could all be here, so give yourselves a round of applause. Round number 2 for Miss Amanda Arbuckle.
I'm going to play Evelyn's Waltz, which I got from a Fred Stone King recording.
We want to thank Bud Senate for American Music, the Hearing Place, the Missouri Folk Arts Program. They've been steadfast supporters of fiddle music and traditions here in Missouri. Of course, the University of Missouri School of Music for allowing us to host this awesome event here, and we appreciate it very, very much. What do you got here for round two, Miss Amber Gaddy?
Cowboy Waltz.
Cowboy Waltz, all right. say that's expertly rendered right there. Well done. Next up, we got Mr. Aiden Scrivner. What do we got for us?
I'm going to play the Shepherd's Waltz. I learned this from a wonderful fiddler from Ozark County named H.K. Sylvie.
Right. I would also mention, it's a little late in this round, but there's some space on the sides here to get a waltz in if you want to come up and dance. Fiddlers can render out here. We're at goosebump level here. I hope it's the same at home for y'all. If you're enjoying what you hear, you can also find some of this type of music here right on the Masakva Bandcamp page. There are lots of legendary Masakva tapes that are there for streaming, download, and purchase if you like. All of the money goes into programs like this right here, all from Masakva. Who do we got up next? Did I miss it? Is it Geoff? It's Geoff. It's Geoff Seitz. Come on out. Well, y'all know now. Don't ask me anymore. I'm out. Yeah. Mr. Seitz from Lynn, or what are we going to do?
So we're going to do the Orvetta Waltz, which I learned right at the side of Vesta Johnson. We go over her house. We helped her celebrate her 100th birthday at her house one time. Yeah. And she was a good friend of mine over the years, and this is one of my favorite waltzes. I learned it right from her. She learned it when she was a little kid. She said she heard a gal play it on the piano, and she learned it and played it on the fiddle from there. Orvetta. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Folks, we're harkening back to the old days, the old times. There's good music on the radio live here on KOPN. Who's up next? Who do we got? Mr. Richard Shewmaker. Come on up here. What do you got? What do you want to sing?
Well, we're gonna play Over the Waves, which is a tune that's pretty common here in Missouri and across the country, but I got my version from Howard Marshall, whose place I'm filling today, and so I'm gonna play it in honor of him.
That's great, and I think we all want to send well wishes to Dr. Marshall here. We were hoping he'd be here today. We've got an award for him a little bit later anyway. We're going to present it to him, but if you've got a message to deliver well wishes for Howard, come on up and talk to us, and we'll certainly give you his well wishes. We miss you, Howard, and thank you, Richard. Next up we have Kathy Summers. Bourbon, Missouri, Kathy Summers plays that fine left-handed fiddle. What are you going to play for us?
Canadian Waltz. Ooh, let's trade. Robert, you sit over here.
No pressure, right?
That's right.
through.
Let's talk about these guys. We got Robert Mackey up here, Mason Colonel, David Cadence, Pat Plunkett. We've got a great band up here. House band can't be any better. Charlie just said he wants the whole band. Didn't know that.
I'm going to play something called the Lisa Lynn Waltz. You know, it's really gratifying to hear everyone reference people they learned these tunes from here in Missouri, the older generation. Ask me where I got this.
Where'd you get this?
YouTube.
It was an older generation of YouTube.
That's right, yeah. First edition, first generation. Gotta remember how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Coming up, Lynn? Come on up, Lynn. Live fiddling here. You never know what's going to happen here. That was Charlie Walden. Now we got Lynn Wells. What do we got, Mr. Wells?
The combination waltz.
All right, I believe this is a classic that you've been playing a long time.
Yeah, with my dad too. He made it.
Dad made it up. That's awesome. Combination waltz. Thank you. Lynn Wells. Last fiddler in this round, John P. Williams.
there in Monroe County. What are you gonna play for?
Lonnie Robertson's Kaiser Waltz.
Thanks, sir. John Lynn. The waltz round, and I think a lot of times in the Missouri contest, the waltz separates the champs from the folks coming in second and third and fourth, and I don't know how you judge that one, but judge that one at home, and remember all 10 waltzes were insanely good, rendered all very well. Well done. Give them another round of applause. We're right about halfway. We got 2 more rounds, so we probably got to give us a little time at the end, so maybe 2 times through on the tune, folks. We're going to do a tune of choice that's not a waltz or hoedown, so what the heck else is it? What do you want to do?
We're going to play the Finley Creek Blues from Bob Holt. It's one of the tunes he used to play at a square dance, because they play about 4 squares an hour. And then some singing tunes that would be 2-steps, waltzes, or polkas, and then also, a couple instrumentals. So this is one of those.
Excellent. Liz Amos. you're just joining us, this is live fiddle music here, brought to you by KOPN, the Bud Center for American Music, the Hearing Place, the Missouri Folk Arts Program, the University of Missouri School of Music, and Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers Association. We're in round 3 with the tune of choice that's not a waltz or a hoedown, and we got Miss Amanda Arbuckle. What you got?
I'm going to play South, which I learned at Bethel Fiddle Camp from a fantastic fiddler, Angie Lenny.
Heck yeah. One of our backup guys today is Robert Mackey. He's an acoustic guitar player and singer-songwriter from Mexico, Missouri. He specializes in rhythm guitar, accompaniment for traditional old-time fiddle tunes. Inspired by his father, Arlie, Robert began playing guitar at 15, later apprenticed with Kenny Appleby through the Missouri Folk Arts Program. Known for his solid timing and steady groove, Robert now shares his passion for old-time music by teaching backup guitar at music camps and events throughout the year. Robert, thank you for being here.
It's an honor. Thank you for inviting me.
Fine playing, sir. The next up. That was Amanda Arbuckle. We got Amber Gaddy here. What do you got?
Well, I heard one of our organizers really likes polkas. So I thought I'd play that good tune in A.
That good tune in A, all right. Mr. David Cavins had the good fortune to play guitar with Missouri master fiddlers of the older generation, his own generation, and young, up-and-coming musicians. That's right, you better believe it. His guitar playing is primarily influenced by the elegant and spare style of Evelyn Campbell of Nebraska, the steady dance backup of Albie Dooms of Ava, Missouri, and the perfect pacing of Kenny Appleby of Mexico, Missouri. Give it up for Kenny Appleby. Dancing and calling at square dances around Missouri. Thank you for being here, Dave. You got anything to say?
I mean, with all these good fiddlers, where else would I be today?
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. All right, we got Mr. Scrivner here. What would you like to play here?
So back when I was getting started, a guitar player named Gordon McCann gave me a recording of this tune that he recorded R.P. Christensen playing it back in the 70s. It's called Findy, Sickle, which is the Missouriization of the French La fin de siècle, which means like the end of the century or the end of the age.
So we didn't know we were going to get educated here today. Findy, Sickle. After that, that was David Scrivner. Thank you very much. Let's talk about Mr. Mason Hurdle here from Almosville, Missouri. He's been involved in Missouri old-time fiddling tradition for a number of years. What is that number? I don't remember. Hurdle plays both guitar, accordion, takes inspiration from David Cavins, Robert Mackey, Kenny Appleby, Amber Gaddy, and many others. He's a past Bethel Fiddle Camp student, resides in Springfield during the academic year. Playing tunes in the Ozarks with the likes of David Scrivner and studying music education at Missouri State University. Mason, give it up for him, guys. All right, we're glad you're here. And we've got tune of choice other than a hoedown or a waltz from Mr. Geoff Seitz. By the way, Geoff Seitz, violin maker, shop in St. Louis, Missouri. Made his own violin, probably some other ones floating around here. What are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play a two-step called Old Parnell, but are you going to play fiddle for us today too?
Oh heck, not with myself. I'm so scared to get up here with all these fine fiddlers. I'll just stick to the mic.
Tom's a good fiddler, man. This guy can really play. So. And he's a lefty too, by the way.
Yeah. Give her help. All right.
FCC violation.
Ready? Is there FCC anymore?
I don't know. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
By the way, we got Captain Gordon on the bass and Pat Plunkett over there on the piano. And next up is Richard Shewmaker. Band keeps leaving. I don't know why. Just stay up there, man. I don't know. What do you got for us?
I'm going to play Mama Blues that I got from a recording of Lonnie Robertson.
If you're playing at home, what keys is it?
C.
All right.
Thanks for that.
Miss Kathy Summers coming up to the microphone now. What are you going to do?
Candle of the King.
Candle on the cane, all right.
A minor, A minor, and then A.
Charlie Walden coming up here. Charlie Walden, founder of the Bethel Youth Fiddle Camp. What year was that?
1986.
Back in 1986, a few years before the Wabash Flock contest here, they were out there in Bethel with fiddles and guitars and banjos, and it started not as a youth camp, it was an adult camp, is that right?
It was actually kind of a festival before, and then, so it's the longest running fiddle camp of its kind in North America that I know of, with all these camps.
Been on 40 years and it's still going. What are you going to play?
I'm going to play one from the great Arthur Smith. It's called Smith's Rag. So we got 2 parts in G, 1 part in C that we play twice.
right, Mr. Linwell. Again, we'd like to thank KOPN for having us here live for this fiddle music, just like back in the old days. Here's good, great fiddle music from the state of Missouri here. Mr. Wells, what are you playing for us today, sir?
Marmaduke's Hornpipe. Right.
Duke's Hornpipe. Here we go.
In F, I'm live.
He probably doesn't remember this, but the first time I was at the state fair contest, I asked Lynn if he'd ever gotten nervous around the judges, you know, and how he dealt with that. And he said judges put on their pants the same way you and I do, one leg at a time. He don't worry none about the judges. That was some of the best advice I've ever gotten about a contest. So thank you, Lil. Give it up for Lynn Wells again. Last contestant here.
Wait the other eye. Mr. Geoff Seitz.
Oh, all right. First up, we got Amos. What do we think about?
We're going to play Bill Conley's Great Eagle.
Oh, all right, good. can't keep these shows in order.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right, don't forget to vote, folks, but I'd wait till the end. Wait till just the very end. You never know what's going to happen in this contest. Somebody could drop a bowl, break a fiddle, bass string could pop. Who knows what's going to happen here? Yeah, right there. Amanda Arbuckle, what are you going to get?
I'm gonna play Night Mile, and I know this from John Boy.
Ah, great. And Gaddy's up. Masotfa.com. You can vote there. MSOTFA.com. You can find it on Facebook also, I believe. Masotfa.com. And for our studio audience, which by the way, you're a lovely studio audience, give yourself a hand. We're going to be a lot more rowdier than we were. We're going to be whiskey drinking out of the boot and all kinds of stuff. So you guys have been lovely. Give yourself a hand. That's fantastic. What do we got, Miss Ann?
Another Dwight Lynn tune. I'm going to play Oyster Quadrille.
Oh boy. All right. One of my favorites.
Mine too.
Last time, where are you taking us this time, dude?
Taney County.
All right.
I'm going to play Ragtime Annie, and I wanted this version from a recording of Bill Ballou, which was recorded in 1941 in Taney County.
All right. jump out of your boots. I'll tell you what, I think I saw every fiddler there looking, so I'm gonna take that tune out of Taney County and bring it with me. We got Geoff Seitz coming up here. Again, if you're tuning in, we're live fiddle music here on KOPN, just like the old days. We got a contest, we're in our final round, almost halfway through with the final round here. Or you can vote for your favorite 3 fiddlers. And we're in the key of D. If you're playing along at home, what are we gonna do?
Tom, we're gonna play one from our side of the state.
All right, it's about time.
Down in Old Mines, Missouri, there was a bunch of fiddlers down there, and this comes from Joe Politte. He never had a name for it. People kind of call it bass in the hollow, kind of for other reasons, but I just call it unnamed breakdown in D.
All right, let's get it. Richard Shewmaker, what are you going to do for us?
We're going to play Fiddler's Dream.
That's a good one.
Pete Mack.
All right.
G chord.
There are t-shirts, are there any still available out there when you're on your way out? $20, I don't know if I can say that price on the air, but I just did. You can't see it at home if you're listening, but these t-shirts commemorate today's event, and I think you guys should get it. And there's this beautiful trucker hat over here that Mason's got on, Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers cap you can pick up out there. All of it goes to Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers. Next up in the final round here is Kathy Summers. Come on down. I'm going to say come on down all day. Finally got it. Come on down. Kathy, how we doing? Thank you for coming today. What are we going to play?
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate my family coming up here with me today.
All right.
I'm gonna do snowshoes.
All right. So entry here for Mr. Charlie Walden. Made the long trek from way up north there. Oh, he's in Hallsville, all the way from Hallsville.
That's where I was last night.
In Hallsville, in Eastville. Charlie Walden's from Hallsville, right?
That's right, that's right.
What are we going to do for our last entry here?
Well, I'm going to stick with Arthur Smith and play the East Tennessee Blues.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Key C. Ready? Yep.
Here, look for Miss Lynn Wells to the choice favorite tune. So Lynn Wells is coming up here, getting ready for his tune. What are you thinking about, sir?
Back up and push.
Back up and push. That's a classic, all right.
Keys it in, Lynn. C, okay, I like C.
Push over the key C. All right. Our final entrant here in today's Midwest Fiddle Invitational.
It's in like 7/4 or something.
We got Mr. John Williams here, and he's trying to teach the band a tune here.
We're going to do Cleo Pursinger's Going Across the Prairie.
All right, thanks, sir. If I were going to get folks from all over Missouri to get over here, I got to have a little motivation, some gas money possibilities on the way home. So we got to have a little voting to it, right? Just like the old style. We don't have a Virginia ham or a Stetson hat to give out here, but we want you to vote at msotfa.com. You can get on there, masatfa.com, and vote for your favorite fiddler, first, second, third. But before we do that, we do have some time. Fiddlers, I want you all to get together before we end there. We're all going to play a tune to get out. I haven't told you about that. I'm sorry, but we'll try to get together and play a tune. But before we do that, I've got to find. I'm falling apart here on live air. Somebody help me. I want to thank KOPN. Before we close, we want to take time for something very special. We have an award. Margot, are you in the house still here? She's outside there. Somebody grab her. We'd like to recognize Dr. Howard Marshall with this Missouri Folk Arts Fellowship Award. Earlier this year, Dr. Howard Marshall, and some of you folks here took part in helping to nominate Dr. Howard Marshall for his lifelong dedication to documenting, preserving, and celebrating Missouri's fiddle heritage. Howard Marshall, who was supposed to be here up here today, and we miss him. He's been a teacher, a mentor, a historian, and a friend to so many musicians. His work has helped make sure that voices of our fiddlers, past and present, will be remembered and carried forward. We have his wife Margot here, and Lisa Higgins from the Folk Arts to present this award for the living sustainer to Dr. Howard Marshall.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to let you hold this, Margot.
Oh, thank you.
Take a look at it first.
Beautiful.
really Tom has said this about everything he said. I'll read what I wrote real quick anyway. To say, first of all, real sad that Doc couldn't join us today, but we know he's feeling a little puny, and we'll see him next time, right?
For sure.
It's absolutely my pleasure. I direct the Missouri Folk Arts Program. It's my colleague Deb Bailey here. There's two of us and a bunch of volunteers and a bunch of friends and who are a lot like family who make that program go. And we've been going since really Doc helped initiate this in the 80s, early 80s with Missouri Cultural Heritage Center. Because of that work and his writing and his preserving and playing and sustaining old-time music, among many other things. We want to recognize him and we have recognized him with a fellowship. He's one of 4 people who got a 2025 Living Traditions Fellowship. He was nominated by our MC, Evelyn, and part of the scope of work of that is to have a public presentation, but also on oral history, which Tom has already collected, and that's going to be on our YouTube channel once we get that edited in the nearest future. So I want to make sure that we thank our sponsors for this fellowship, which are the National Endowment for the Arts, the Folk and Traditional Arts Program, the Missouri Arts Council, Mizzou's Museum of Art and Archaeology, which is our home. So not only is artistic excellence and deep cultural knowledge important to these fellowships, but community is important to these fellowships. And I think if you're sitting in this room, and I hope if you're sitting at home, you understand the community of old-time fiddlers, old-time musicians, and why this is so important. Not only did Tom do the nomination, but of the folks who are up here, 4 fiddlers and 1 backup musician wrote letters of support. And I know there are more people in this room and at home listening who could have written letters as well, but we only allow so much space. So, Doc Marshall, his surrogate here, Margot McMillan, thank you for being here. We're presenting this plaque, which was custom made by T.J. Southern. T.J. owns Fresh Sawdust in Perryville, Missouri. He is also a recent mentoring artist, master artist in the Traditional Arts Apprenticeship Program. He's taught 2 apprenticeships. And it just says Missouri Living Traditions Fellowship, Howard W. Marshall, 2025. Each of the artists gets custom colors that I think about way too much. And for Doc's, we have the black and gold in the middle for Mizzou, because he is an alum and emeritus. We also add a little crimson in there for Indiana University, because he also got his PhD there, right? So thank you for accepting that. Do you want to say anything?
I wish I had thought of something ahead of time, but thank you so much, Lisa, and thanks to all that wrote letters and supported him. And yeah, I know he wishes he could be here. We will be sure he's here for the next one. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We're getting down to the wire, folks. The voting is coming in. It's coming in waves. I don't have Steve Bernanke here to do any graphics on the screen, but the votes are coming in by the dozen here. I think before we do that, we want to play a group tune together. Let's play this tune. Come on down, fiddlers, like the 8th of January or something like that. How about that? All the backup. Let's get everybody in here. And if you're playing along at home, play along with us. If you're in the house here, come up and dance. And you got an instrument, come play with us. I'm going to get one more tune in before the voting. The votes are streaming in.
8th of January. 8th of January. AABB, sure, AABB.
We're gonna double it up. No, okay, let's keep it going.
Kick us off, Gaddy.
Thank you.
stay up here. With further ado, we're coming to the conclusion of this program. Again, we thank KOPN, thank the Missouri Folk Arts, we thank the University of Missouri, the Bud School here, Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers, and without further ado, let's see what we've got. We've got some changes in voting here that's just come in at the last hour. We've got lots of changes that are coming in. We're going to close the polls here. Somebody just dumped the barrel of votes into the box here. And in third place right now here for the final, Mr. John P. Williams. In second place today, Mr. David Scrivner. And our champion today, we thank everybody out there for voting. We thank you guys all for being here today. Our champion today is Mr. Charlie Walden. See you later to the parents and Charlie.
That's where that bucket of votes came from.
Last minute bucket.
I hit return on my computer and it just.
All right, I think we've just got a little bit more time here. Anybody want to come up and testify up here on the mic while we got you? I'd like to actually call out and say thank you to my lovely wife who is at home, Jennifer Rice, who is listening and giving me tips on the text side, like saying stop saying so much. So. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you for everybody coming out here today. We're hoping to make this a regular thing. We'll see how it goes. Let's play another tune since we might as well play it out here. It's what we do best, right? What do we want to do? Red Wing? Red Wing. All right, let's go.